where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And yeah, I'm back. I tell you, man, it gets harder and harder to make it on time. It's crazy. It looks like everything that goes wrong can go wrong. It's crazy because like my stand now, look like I'm gonna have to go out and purchase a new one. It was giving me hard times. I didn't want y'all looking at me this way, so I had to jerry rig it like old school. See, I ain't got no like sound man, and I ain't got all the people and the technical, all that stuff. I ain't got no producer. It's just me. It's just me. I'm on a solo mission when it comes down to this. So all the support you can give the channel, I appreciate it. It helps me deal with issues like this. Now, with that being said, it's Monday, y'all. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? We got to set it off the right way. So my man Dallas said he can hear me, and if he say he can hear me, then it is what it is. Now, that number right there, 330-974-4607. If you want, you can text MAGA to that number just in case y'all start missing me for a couple days, and you're like, wait a minute, man, where's Cav? This ain't like him to be gone. You'll know how to reach me, or I'll know how to reach you guys. So with that being said, let me get loose, man, because we got to get through this quickly. We got a lot of stuff to chit chat about. Real gorilla, real gorilla, real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here, gorilla in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Speaking of gorillas, if you want, you can go to my corner store and get all the Gorilla Clan gear you want. Feel free. It helps the channel out. And definitely, if you can, I do have a monthly fundraiser link, which I have not updated. So I believe that right now, you might have to just roll with my normal PayPal or Cash App. If you want to support the channel financially, you can do that as well. And of course, those that participate in the super chat, I appreciate that as well. So now we're already over 107 people watching. I would like to see 107 likes. So if you can, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you are still subscribed and your notifications are turned on to all, and sometimes they can be turned on to all and you still will not get a notification from YouTube. So I'll do my best to stay on top of that, but you know where you can find me weekly from 7 to 9. Okay, now let's go ahead and get busy, guys. Before we get into the serious stuff, y'all, before we get into the serious stuff, we might want to check in on some sports. You know what I'm saying? I like watching sports. I don't know about y'all. One of my favorite sports is track and the field. So let's see what's going on with track and field, high school wise. Let's see what we got going here. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like sports, man. I remember my days back in track and field. Okay, 200-yard dash.
Abby Wilson.
Okay, what's this?
Very well. It's Gallagher and McDaniel in lane 2.
Woo-wee! Look at that girl booking, man. She is booking. Look at that. Wow, I've never seen a lead like this in the 200-yard dash, man. Wow, those girls are really slow. They must be all sorry.
You see Gallagher later on in the relay.
Oh, she high kneeing it too. Look at her. High kneeing it. Head back. Digging. Oh, yeah. Man, look at that. Oh.
Gallagher.
Whoa, did you see that lead? You see this lead that this girl got? You see all them other girls back down there? Now, this chick probably over here eating donuts, eating a hot dog already, drinking a little bit, taking her cleats off and stuff like that. And these girls are still running. They're still running. Wow, I am amazed at how fast this girl was. Then again, a 27 flat and a 200-yard dash is really not that fast, I guess. But maybe all the other girls are just slow.
Here.
Look at one. Oh, wow. Here they come.
25-49.
There you go. Wow. Wow. That girl beat those other girls by 5 seconds. Now, in track and field, 5 seconds is an eternity. Boy, I better find out who this girl is right here. Just, uh-oh. Wait a minute, y'all. I found out that girl is not a girl. It's a man, baby. So, did y'all see that? You think we should be proud of that as a society? I mean, is that not something that every female should be a little upset about? And yet, you got people out there talking about there's still a lot of debate out there about whether there's drastic differences between men and women. And I'm saying, did you see that? Now, that's a slow man. That is a very slow man. Do you understand Back in our day, if you ran a 27 in a 200-yard dash, you would be rolled on. Rolled on. Man, I had a dude one time ran I think it was a 12, like a 12 flat and a 100. 12 flat and a 100. And he walked up into the stadium because he won his heat. He thought he had the juice. Threw his cleats over his shoulders. Yeah, has little peacock feathers out. And he asked one of these other dudes who was real fast, right? He said, yo, Colonel. No, Colonel, the guy that was real fast. He asked me, he said, yo, man, what was your time? Oh, man, it wasn't really that. I wasn't even pushing it that hard. It was only, but, it was 12 flat. And Colonel said, 12 flat? Yeah? He said, yeah, man, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. It's piss poor. A 12 flat is piss poor. And a guy running a 27 is piss poor. But if you're a guy who's running against girls, and you beating them by 5 seconds, and rumor has it that in his state of Oregon, if he would have ran with the guys, he would have came in like in the 60s. In the 60s. And nobody's upset about this. Now, do you think those girls, after they get finished running that race, feels fair? Do you think they're able to go over to the podium and take their second and third place and really appreciate it and support this person? How can anybody watch that and not come to the conclusion that this is an atrocity? It is an attack on women's sports and somebody needs to do something. So now I got to come out and speak on it. Now I got to become a male feminist. What is the world coming to? I'm not the most sensitive man, but you got me out here, advocating for women. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm telling you, if my daughter ran in that school district, I would remove her quickly. I mean, and if my son, God forbid, I ever had a son who decided he lost his mind like that, I would be going, as long as you're living in this house, you're not running track against girls. No, you're not going to embarrass me. Hopefully I pass on enough genes that you won't feel you got to jump in the girls' race and smoke them. Dang on it. But yep, there you have it out in Oregon. Now I wonder what they're going to do about this. I really wonder what they're going to do about this. And I was thinking today, you can only get away with these sports so far. I mean, there are some sports where if it hits that stage, I don't think they'd ever let it happen. Like, for example, the Olympics. Can you imagine Sha'Carri Richardson, all of these fast girls in the 100s? They would never let a guy reach the females' 100-yard dash in the Olympics because that would put the spotlight on it worldwide. Worldwide. See, they know how far they can go with this. You think China, Russia, and all these other countries that's letting their women run in the 100-yard dash in the Olympics would be okay if our dumb butts or some country in Europe, one of the Western countries, stuck a dude out there? They would be going, what is this crap? What is this crap? So it's funny how they know how far to go. And it's also funny why these people aren't able to realize how foolish this mess is. I can't even believe we're here at the point in our country where this is acceptable. Nobody's even questions why the girls who think they're guys don't jump in men's leagues and men's sports and stuff like that. Nobody questions that. Nobody's advocating for that. And it burns me up. Burns me up, man. I'm sick to see this. Poor girls. That's all I can say. Poor girls. And the dummies up there just allowing it to happen. But not on my watch. Now, let's get back to the creep. Can the creep keep the peace? Can you think Creepy could keep the peace? Or are we in trouble? I think we might be a little bit in trouble. And hopefully we can hold out long enough till Trump gets in office. So let's check out what's going on, because I'm sure by now you all heard what's going on in the Middle East with Israel and now Iran. And so let's find out the latest, because somebody called me last night asking me about it. And I said, you know what? I was going to talk about it tonight, but I'm going to save it for tomorrow's show. So let's see what's going on with it. The world would be a safer place. Joe Biden is inaugurated. When Joe was inaugurated.
America is safer today than when I took office.
It is. Look, Joe Biden's cabinet picks send a clear message. The adults.
We can join forces, stop the shouting, and lower the temperature.
Now that man is a shoutologist. That's what's funny about it. He's a shiteologist and he's a shoutologist. Constantly shouting. But he's talking about stop the shouting, as he's shouting right there. Stop the shouting. So let's see. Biden says America is back as he strikes new tone in U.S. foreign policies. I wonder what that new tone led to. Yes.
For without unity, there is no peace.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Y'all sure did.
Much of the world is on alert tonight for an imminent attack on Israel by Iran.
What's this?
CBS News has learned the U.S. military is sending additional firepower to the region to increase force protection for American troops that are already there.
What's going on here? Why is Iran still a factor? I thought we had them on the ropes when Trump was in office. I thought we had them staggering and all we had to do is finish them. That's what I thought. I mean, we had sanctions on them. They were broke. All of that stuff. They weren't producing and making nuclear weapons. They weren't, walking around with their chest out, starting trouble. Yeah, we had them on the bubble. And then what happens? Creepy gets in and he does everything he could to put them back on the map. Do you know how happy they probably were when Joe came along? It's like hitting a lotto. That's like a poor family, like, dude, we broke, man. They about to repossess everything. The house is in foreclosure. Man, they done took the cat, the dog, and everything. Grandma's also in the back of the truck. They're taking her to what? Oh, snap. We just hit the lotto. We back in business. Grandma, get off the truck. So Iran was in trouble. And what happens? The Biden administration comes in, remove sanctions, start giving them all kind of money. Next, they're supporting terrorist activities again. Go figure. Now, did you think they were going to change their wicked ways? And so now, because Iran is really one of the people behind the curtain when it comes down to Hamas and what's going on over there, Israel, they're smart enough to put it together. They're smart enough to realize Iran is sneaky and they really is pushing this thing. So let's go ahead and see what's happening because we don't want this to spiral out of control, do we? A lot of Americans are sweating.
Positioning a Navy destroyer in the region, joining another warship that is already there.
Can you tell us just how dangerous is this moment in the Middle East?
That's what I want.
So I think this is a very dangerous time, not only for the region, but for the world. Tensions are at extreme high right now.
Dagan.
I thought that was supposed to happen under Donald Trump. That's what I thought. Yeah, remember, Trump's going to take us into World War III. He's going to start a fight with Little Rocket Man, and it's unbelievable. And all of that stuff. They won. All of that. Now, we're going to see just the difference between how Iran was acting under Trump and how they're acting now under Creepy.
I've been covering the Middle East, as you know, for 30 years, and I have never seen things so tense with the potential for a wider war to break out between Israel and Iran, which could draw the U.S. and others into a wider Middle East war.
Mr. President, what is your message to Iran?
Well, there he is. I'm sure this man of peace will come out and settle it. Yeah, y'all saw the video talking about where, now that I'm back in office, we're going to be respected. The adults are back. So let's go ahead and see him project all kind of strength to deter Iran from acting a fool. Let's see.
In this moment.
Don't.
Don't. That's it? That's it? That's the only message? Oh, I forgot. His vocabulary is limited. So that's all he got. Don't. Wow, I tell you, if I'm Iran, I'm shaking in my boots. He just said don't. Well, let's see how they react.
Good afternoon. We are coming on the air with breaking news about a major development in the Middle East.
Okay.
Just a short time ago,
Iran stopped. Just a short time ago, they was like, no, everybody stop. Bring back drones. Creepy Sleepy come out. He told us to stop. He said don't. Yeah, I'm sure that's what's going on right now. Don't.
Israeli officials confirmed that Iran has launched dozens of weaponized drones at targets inside Israel.
Well, that don't sound like they're listening to Creepy. That sounds like they're doing the opposite of what Creepy just said. Don't.
U.S. officials also confirmed the attack has begun.
I think you look at everything that we've done since October 7th, actually before that, but since October 7th, the president has been a man of his word.
Y'all hear Kermit? Y'all hear Kermit the Frog? So they sent out Kermit the Frog to try to tell us that don't worry about it. We got everything under control. All right. Creepy Sleepy has done everything he said he would do. And trust me, Iran knows that they can't get away with this as long as the U.S. is on the wheels of steel. So let's hear him go ahead and tell everybody, relax. Yeah, look at Joe's track record.
We said we were going to help Israel defend itself, and we've been doing that. In addition to what happened last night, which was extraordinary, we're continuing to make sure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself against Hamas, which is still operating inside Gaza. So I just respectfully have to disagree with the leader there. Everything that the president has done since the 7th of October has proven his word as good. The president has been a man of his word.
I've said it before. I'm not going to shut down the economy.
He did say that.
I'm not going to shut down the country, but I'm going to shut down the virus.
Well, let's
Tonight,
check.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise coast to coast, with the Northeast and Midwest seeing the biggest increases. The CDC reports hospitalizations are up nearly 17%. That's based on the most recent week of data.
Well, that's just one thing. That's just one thing. That's just one thing Creepy said he was going to do and he didn't do. Yeah, that's just one thing.
CBS's Elise Preston is in Los Angeles County, where some healthcare facilities have reintroduced mask mandates.
Wow.
Won't that be fun?
Everything that the president has done since the 7th of October has proven his word as good.
We have a lot more to do, though. And I'm going to get those gas prices down again. I promise.
Yes. So, all right. So he messed up and he didn't really cure COVID. He said he's going to shut down, COVID instead of the economy. And of course, that's why the economy sucks right now. It's because him and all of his corrupt, evil dictator friends shut down the country and end up destroying the economy. Now they're blaming everybody but themselves. But at least he's going to get gas prices down where Trump had them, right?
Thank you.
And look at the dummies clapping. Look at the dummies clapping. Like this man has not failed them over and over again. Why are they clapping? The Democrats set their people up for failure constantly with these false promises that they know they can't keep or won't keep. And the people keeps on hanging on to the bait. Next year, we're going to Disneyland. Trust me, kids. And the kids keep, yay! Then that year comes along. Oh, some things came up, kids. We're not going to be able to make it. Go get the water hose out of the backyard and the slip and slide. That's going to be our little water park for this summer. So now, here's Joe promising low gas prices.
The latest consumer price index report showing a big spike in gas prices.
According to AAA, the national average for gas is $3.63. That's up 7 cents from last week, 24 cents from a month ago, and a few cents more.
You see that? I did that. He sure did, ladies and gents. That man right there did that. He did all of this. But let's continue because we could trust Joe. Yeah, we're in safe hands. We're in good hands with the Biden administration.
Than this time last year.
The president has been a man of his word.
But I'm not joking when I say this. If you're ever working with me and I hear you treat another colleague with disrespect, talk down to someone, I promise you I will fire you on the spot.
Yeah, Joe.
On the spot.
Lay the hammer down.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency and dignity.
What's this?
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Fire that man. Somebody go get Joe to fire Joe. Joe needs to fire Joe. He just said everybody deserves dignity and respect, except for Peter Doocy, who gives you a hard time. So shouldn't you be firing yourself, you big fat hypocrite? Democrats never mean what they say, and they never say what they mean.
Today, I'm announcing a plan to refill the petroleum oil reserve in the years ahead at a profit for taxpayers. The United States government is going to purchase oil to refill the strategic petroleum reserve when prices fall to $70 a barrel. That means oil companies can invest to ramp up production now. With confidence, they'll be able to sell their oil to us at that price in the future, $70.
Wow. Now, can anybody think of any of Joe's promises that he fulfilled? I'm searching in my database for one. I can't find none. I can't find nothing that man said he would do except for destroy the country, which he didn't say it, but all of his policies that he said, that we said, that's not a good policy. Why would you do that? That's going to destroy the country. Everything like search the border. Yeah, he fulfilled that promise, didn't he? Talking about those illegal immigrants and all of them got a right to come over here and apply for something. All of that he fulfilled. But besides that, which is not a good thing, I'm trying to think of anything he did fulfill that benefited us. Not one thing I could think of that this man or his administration did or promised that either they ended up doing or they did it and it did benefit us. None of their policies have benefited us. And the ones that could have, he didn't even fulfill them. Didn't keep those promises.
And it's critical to our national security.
The Biden administration tonight is backing off on refilling America's emergency oil stockpile. The Energy Department saying the administration will no longer buy 3 million barrels of crude oil for a reserve site in Louisiana. The department says that shift comes amid rising prices at the gas pump.
You look at everything that we've done since October 7th, actually before that, but since October 7th, the president has been a man of his word.
If I'm elected president, you're going to see the single most important thing that changes America is we're going to cure cancer.
Now that's the best one right there. See, but that is how grandiose Democrats are when they come to their promises. They will get out there and promise you the world. Fly me to the moon. They don't care because it's all about votes. And they hope that people won't remember all the failed promises when it comes down to voting again. Remember, I promised we're going to get all of those American citizens out of Afghanistan. Have we gotten them? Nope. That man just got up there and promised us that he was going to cure cancer. He won't even be around long enough to cure cancer. What is he talking about? Talking about something, yeah, I promise you, we're going to cure cancer. That man's been lying to us since day one. Everything that they have come in and told us about has been a lie. You know, the adults are back in charge. It's going to be peaceful. We're going to bring civility back in. I'm going to be the president for, both Republicans and conservatives. All of these things, nothing but lies. And now look what has happened. Benny, what's going on over there in the Middle East?
It didn't have to be this way.
It did.
It didn't have to be this way. I remember a president that gave us 4 years of peace, especially in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And now Joe Biden has brought us war, potentially world war. And Iran has launched hundreds of suicide drones and cruise missiles directly at the nation of Israel.
Well,
They're inbound right now. And ladies and gentlemen, we may have just kicked off World War III, certainly a much larger regional conflict in the Middle East. Never a good sign for world stability. Expect your gas prices to go to $10 a gallon. This is a crisis. There are drones inbound right now. We wait to see what happens. Here's what we know. The drones are flying across various airspaces in the region and are headed directly towards Israel. The Doomsday plane has taken off in Israel, called the Wings of Zion. This is a plane that is supposedly potentially carrying Netanyahu and the cabinet. This is a plane that takes off only when it is wartime, and a plane that allows the Israeli government to function from a military perspective. This is a massive, massive increase in retaliation for the killing of an Iranian general. This Iranian general was killed at an embassy by Israel, and now the retaliation is upon us.
Okay, so now I want to ask you guys something. Do you think any of this would have happened if Trump was in office? Any of this? First of all, Iran would have still been under sanctions. Their money would have still been low. And also, they would have still been remembering those promises that Trump made them. Which one of those were, okay, I killed one of your terrorist supporting people, Solomon Grundy. I had to blow him off the map. See? And just to let you know, any other terrorists y'all planning on sending out there and trying to put them in a nice little military suit, only to find out, really, you're your officer in the military, but you're still a terrorist. You're still a terrorist. One of y'all side gigs is terrorism, see? It's terrorism. So therefore, we want every single one of y'all looking up in the sky to see if you see any glitter. What is that up there? Is that I want to be droned. I saw what they did to Solomon Grundy. Then when they decided we got to keep face in regards to our people, Trump let them know something. He said, all right, okay, here's the deal. You're going to retaliate. I get it. You got to make your people think that you're strong. But I tell you what, if one American gets killed, I'm going to bring down hell on y'all like never seen before. And guess what they did? Okay, everybody listen. Blow up empty buildings. Make it look like we're doing things. They sure enough didn't hurt no American soldiers. And then we ain't hear nothing else from them. Nothing, period. So then creepy comes back in. Now they're emboldened, they got money, and they're supplying people like Hamas. And thus you get what took place in October, and Israel knows what's behind it, which is also Iran. And one thing has been leading to another. Iran recognizes they got weak leadership in the U.S. Then that same weak leadership gave them all of that money. All of that money. Didn't even hold them accountable. I can't even remember. I know I played a clip of Kirby back in the day trying to give an excuse about all the money we gave him. And the Iranian leader was like, yo, I'm not promising to spend that money on our people. We're going to use that money how we seem fit. Now, when you decide to become a terroristic country and you backing terrorism, supporting it, encouraging it, and all that stuff, all bets are off. You don't get no American dollars. I don't want to be hearing nothing about, well, actually, we owed them this and then that we had to give it up. No, you're supplying the enemy either for us or our allies. But yet the Biden administration did that. Now he got the nerve to come out talking about some don't. Now, do you think they're respecting that don't after this? So now what do we have? We have them retaliating concerning Israel and them killing one of their soldiers. Now, here's my thought on it. A lot of people are wondering, well, let me let this finish, and then I'll tell you my thought on it.
Now, Israeli air defenses are some of the best in the world and some of the most sophisticated in the world. And I don't even think we've seen actually all of the capacity of the Israeli air defenses. Obviously, when they activate the Iron Dome or the Sling of David, as they call it, this is a huge deal, and it is a very expensive system, but a very sophisticated system. Israeli military officials have confirmed that they are tracking these drones and that they will be intercepting these drones. And Jordan has given over airspace for them to do that, and for Israeli planes to fly over Jordan. Every country in the Middle East has effectively declared a state of emergency. There are breaking reports that Yemen and other nations like Syria and Lebanon have begun to launch their own attacks at Israel. So this is now a multi-nation attack against Israel.
So now a lot of people are starting to worry. Kev, do you think it's World War III? Well, I don't, according to biblical prophecies. Now, if you're a Christian, there are some things that need to take place. Now, we all know in the Bible, it talks about wars and rumors of wars leading up to the final war. So he said, don't panic because these aren't the major wars. These are wars and rumors of wars. All right. But I do see the groundwork being laid for the final confrontation when it comes down to Russia and how we, with our stupidity, have happened to form an evil alliance between Russia, China, Iran, all of that. Iran would love to have a holy war. Iran would love to unite the whole Middle East against Israel. I don't think this retaliation was designed to really try to hurt Israel. I think this was another situation where they're like, yo, we got to save face. We can't let them just go ahead and kill one of our folks and not do anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch an attack that we know Israel is well capable of defending. Therefore, we can have it best, the best of both worlds. We don't have to, worry about Israel's real retaliation if we were to go ahead and do a full-on attack and start hurting their citizens and destroying, some of their area over there. That would cause Israel to really go full steam when it comes down to a response to this. However, if we shoot a couple drones up, let them float over there, let Israel have time to go ahead and prepare for them, blow them out the sky. As of now, I haven't heard any major casualties or anybody really. I heard some little girl got hurt, but Israel had plenty of time to go ahead and stop this. So now what Israel could technically do is say, well, nobody was hurt. There was no real damage. They launched some type of response that obviously was not designed to blow us off the map or to really damage us, because it seems to me they don't want the real smoke right now. They're not prepared for the real smoke. Yeah, they need more folks on their side to back them up, because Israel prophetically is going to be whooping butt into the very last. See, there's a prophecy in the Bible that talks about how Israel will be surrounded by all of these enemies, but yet they won't be able to take Israel. Israel will be like a sharp stone in their hand. So when they grab them, it will cut their hand asunder. So that means that it's going to take a whole bunch of countries to finally decide we want a shot at this little teeny country the size of Iowa that's been whooping butt because God said they would be. So I don't think we're at that level now where Iran want to go full steam against Israel. They need a way to be able to say, look what we did. We did something, y'all, so we ain't weak. Don't think we weak now. We ain't punks to their people. But I think it would be a whole different level if they would have launched an attack that was obvious, to whereas you would come to the conclusion that these folks are trying to blow Israel off the map. This ain't one of those, we're going to send some drones and let you get prepared, get your defense system all set up and stuff like that. I think they don't really want that type of drama just yet. But does that mean this is going to stop? Does that mean this isn't going to keep, escalating? And one of the key factors, whether it escalates or diffuses, is our leadership. The U.S. You don't think these countries are looking at the U.S. to see what they're doing and who's leading the country? So I'm thinking, guys, if I am the leaders of Iran and I'm seeing that, wait, we got away with the whole, the Hamas thing. They know we all was behind it. They know all that money they gave us we was using to support this mess. Then we went ahead, launched the attack on Israel with this response. And so far, don't seem like the U.S. is, going to do anything. I don't think Iran is done. You think Iran is done? This right here ain't going to end until the end. But the leadership will determine how fast this stuff escalates or if it diffuses. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to say, well, let's see how they respect the U.S. But it's hard for me to believe that this man we're about to see is going to be the guy who negotiates some type of peace and get Iran back in check.
Is it the end times? We will see. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the on-the-ground reporting for Fox News.
Yeah, Fox News can confirm, according to multiple sources, that drones have been launched from Iran toward Israel. It will take these drones hours to get here. And this could be just the initial thing.
See, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. I don't think Iran was dead set on trying to hurt Israel when you launch drones that take hours to get there. I mean, I'm just saying, that's a lot of time to prep. I mean, a nuclear attack from Russia would only take like 25, 30 minutes to get to the U.S. But that's not a lot of time to react. But drones that take hours to get there? I mean, you can send out your Air Force to meet the drones before they even get over your airspace. So I don't think this was designed to really threaten Israel. I think this was just a response to save face.
Days of the Iranian attack against Israel. Israeli officials are meeting tonight to determine what their response will be to this drone attack. There are a variety of methods the Israelis could use to shoot down these drones, including fighter jets and some of their more air defense systems that are on the perimeter of Israeli territory. We're talking about some of the larger systems, not the Iron Dome that we've discussed over the past nearly 200 days amid the war between Israel and Gaza, but larger systems such as...
Somebody said, let them go at it. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't if I wasn't looking at this through two lenses, the natural eye and the spiritual eye. The natural eye says, let them have it. Go at it. If Iran want to be backing terrorism, then hey, it is what it is. But the spiritual eye is saying, if we're around to see that, we're in some trouble. We're in some trouble. So right now, I think we are in the early stages right about now. The wars, the rumors of wars, and it's concerning. It is. As a Christian, it's concerning. That's one thing we need to always do as Christians is keep our eye on what's going on over there in the Middle East with Israel. We always got to see, like, what's going on over there? Hey. Frankly, I don't want to even see these countries have peace. You don't want to see a peace treaty. You don't want them fighting, but you don't want to see a peace treaty because we all know what that means too. Yeah, the person who comes along and negotiates a peace treaty between these folks right here, that's going to be a bad situation right there. It's going to be good for the folk. Hey, yeah, that's good. And next thing you know, we already know who that man is going to be if you believe in scriptures. So now he's telling us that Israel, that little teeny country, got some serious weapons to defend itself. So right about now, I think Iran knew that. I think they knew that.
Just David Sling and the Arrow system.
David Sling.
Remember, this all began earlier this month when the Israelis targeted the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria, killing Mohammad Zaghadi, a top Iranian general in charge of the weapon shipments to places like Syria and Lebanon. It is what the Iranians have called a red line that was crossed.
Again, America is an ally of Israel, and will this pull America into war? Probably. I mean, like, what do you expect? We have such jackasses running our country. Joe Biden, when he was running for president in 2020, actually said the reason you need to elect me is because I won't create war with Iran.
And he did say that. Now, do I think this is going to pull us into war with Iran? No, not right now. And honestly, from a biblical standpoint, I don't even know the role that the U.S. is going to play in the final conflict. But I do know this much. If we, for whatever reason, and I'm talking to Christians, right? Because not everybody who watches my show is a Christian. But according to my religious beliefs and scriptures, we cannot turn our back on Israel. That doesn't mean that we can't call balls and strikes. That doesn't mean that if Israel does something that we say, well, they shouldn't have did that. But that don't mean we turn our back on Israel. There's a consequence to that when it comes down to a nation, and Christianity. There's a consequence to that. So, but do I think right now it's to the point where the U.S. feels like we got to go ahead and commit and jump into something? I don't think it's at that point. So I think this will kind of settle a little bit. But I do say that I'm watching this next election. If we leave these people in charge, if somehow they steal this next election, that is the time for all of us to go into sackcloth and ashes. That's the time for all of us to start speaking in all kind of heavenly tongues. How many grits, some of the land. Yeah, that's the time for us to go ahead and lay out flat, prostrate in front of the Lord, because we in trouble. So these Democrats right about now, they are ushering in a whole bunch of stuff that I could go ahead and look at the end time prophecies and say, yeah, Democrats they're riding in on that mess. They're bringing it to us and don't even realize it. Don't even realize it. So yeah, we're praying that this stuff will get kind of doused next election. We'll see. But look at this guy. You think this guy's going to do it?
The world has changed because what Trump has done.
And
the American people, including independents and some Republicans, know how bad he is.
How bad he is.
Know how much he's misrepresented. Know how he's getting close to getting us in a war. I said, as the walls close in on this man, I'm worried
how close he's getting us in the war. Do you remember that? Did he get us close? Did he get us close? Now, this fool has been in office for almost 4 years now. We done had a debacle in Afghanistan. We done had the whole situation in Ukraine with Russia. And now we got this popping off over there with Israel and Iran because Iran has been emboldened and they got a whole bunch of chips given to them by this administration. We got China floating balloons all over the place. Little Rocket Man done fired up the rockets again. And he's talking about, hey, Trump, close getting us in the war. And one of the reasons I think Trump wasn't close to getting us in a war is because once they realized that Trump wasn't a scumbag globalist like the rest of these politicians, a war hawk, trying to go ahead and destabilize their country and replace them. Once they realized that, they was like, all right, this man is stern. He will put his foot up our tails if we act up. But I don't sense this guy is trying to create havoc. I don't think this dude is trying to, cross the bounds when it comes down to our borders, our business. Trump was all about, look, we're going to mind our business, let everybody else mind their business, and as long as your business doesn't compromise our business, then we ain't got no business except for making money. Watch out for your country. Make sure you do the best thing for your country. I'm going to do the best thing, and I'm not trying to overthrow you, so you ain't got to worry about trying to go ahead and let your ego and all of this stuff. Just relax. If you don't act a fool, I'm not going to blow you off the map. But I will. I will if you don't know how to act. And for some reason, that worked. They realized the difference between a real America first politician versus a stinking globalist like these folks. And I'm talking about not just Democrats, but we got Republicans, the same thing. So and seeing all of this now, and I look back at all the years where I didn't recognize how evil our leaders were. I mean, I can see why some countries were like, hey, man, I don't trust these dudes. We done seen what they did to Gaddafi. Man, we seen what they did to Saddam Hussein. I don't trust these cats, man. We better go ahead and nuke up. We better go ahead and make sure we got. But when Trump came in, it was like, well, let's see what this dude's about. Maybe he's the same as the rest of them. Do the CIA control him? Do the FBI control him? No, they don't. Oh, so he gonna make, okay. All right, relax. They had a sense of, okay, this guy ain't crazy. Now, he ain't gonna let us run over him when it comes down to good deals, good trade and all of that stuff. He ain't gonna let us run over him. And he's gonna make sure they're prepared, just in case we act up, to put their foot up our butts so everybody seemed to chill. This guy comes in and all hell breaks loose.
To get us to war in Iran. Unfortunately, I may have been right. The fact of the matter is there's a lot at stake in this election.
Just days ago, that same old jackwagon was asked, hey, what is your message to Iran? We're hearing there may be war in the Middle East, and Joe Biden's message to Iran is,
tell him.
Don't.
What is your message to Iran in this
There he is.
Don't.
Are American personnel assets at risk, Mr. President?
Look at him walking off.
Mr. President, are American?
Man, that's loud. Look at him walking off. Now, what does that speak to Iran? Who's watching this?
Troops at risk as well?
We are devoted to the defense of Israel. We will support Israel. We will help defend Israel, and Iran will not succeed. Thank you very much.
So let's see. Why would Iran listen to this bum?
And I wonder.
Look at this. Remember this, y'all? Let's see how his don't message has worked in the past. This was a gift for Putin. He said don't.
Mr. President, what you would say to him if he is considering using chemical or tactical nuclear weapons?
Don't.
Do not
Look at this. Here's another one from his administration.
come. Do not come.
How did those don'ts work out? There you go. Everything they said don't do. Because initially, he was saying don't even invade, Ukraine. Don't. They did that. Yeah, did that. Now what? What are you going to do? Huh? Yeah. That's when you was a kid and you would put things on your shoulder and say, you better not knock it off. Beep. Now what you going to do? What are you going to do? When people see these type of things taking place, that sends a message. Yeah, they're all saying, did y'all see that? You don't think that China was watching us pull out of Afghanistan like we was fleeing for our lives? Soldiers getting blown up, folks hanging on to airplanes, and then creepy, sleepy, leaving weapons all behind? You don't think they watched that? You don't think that sent a message? Then made a promise to go get them and never went back to get them? You don't think that sent the message? You don't think they watched Kamala Harris talk about some don't come to the border? And all of them was like, that's a dog whistle for us to search the border. And they told us when Kamala Harris comes out and say, don't come, that means really to come right now. As she was speaking, people were flying over the border. Right there, as she was speaking. But yet, there they go, out there talking about some don't. So now, why would anybody believe them? Especially when our leader looks like this guy. Yeah, he. Look at that. There you go. Don't. Look, I don't even know where I am, but I'm saying don't.
National championship, went to the White House, took a picture with Joe Biden, team picture. Joe Biden talked to us for about 3 minutes, and then right after that, he asked us for a picture again.
Wow, y'all see that? He's so mentally fit. So he went. They went to the White House. He came out, talked to him for about 3 minutes, asked him for a picture, and then a few seconds later, asked him for a picture again. After they had already took one. Yeah, so y'all ready for the picture? I'm surprised they didn't send out the little black dude with the bald head, Todd. Jacobin, we already took the picture. What? We already took the picture? Okay. All right, what's next? The picture? That's how bad of a condition this guy's in.
What did he say in that 3 minutes? Yeah.
Completely ignored Coach Hurley. Really couldn't understand what he was saying, and then he said, all right, let's grab a picture.
Do you think he knows basketball?
Not much.
Man, that's bad. That's bad. So now, in these last couple weeks, we already knew Joe was blew out, but we found out that an interview that he did with a sports, sports center or whatever, network, with one of their commentators was all scripted. It was all scripted. Yeah, and then now he goes in, he talks to the basketball team, and he doesn't remember taking the picture. It's kind of like when he was talking about that lady. He is like, where's so-and-so? I forget the lady's name, but he said, just took a picture with her. Just took a picture with her. Only a few seconds later to realize she wasn't even in the state. She was up in Washington. Yeah, I must have got it wrong. How do you get that wrong? I mean, what was going on in your head? Either you made it up in your head that you just took a picture with her, or you took a picture with somebody else and don't even realize who that person was. But yet they're coming out telling us he's fine and he's supposed to be negotiating on behalf of our country. Now, you don't think that Iran's looking at this?
And it's tied to the hostages. There are a number of hostages that are being held by the Hamas. And just yesterday, we're meeting with the vice president or national security advisor before
Look at that. You see that? Look at those glasses. What are those in his glasses? See, the aviators, they hide the corrupt, evil eyeballs, but they also reveal something else. That's a script he's reading. Here he is standing next to the Japanese, emperor or whoever his leader, and he's reading straight off a script.
And they're American hostages as well. Well,
and can barely do it.
We are the same, Japan and the United States.
Look at this.
We may be divided by distance, but the generations after generation, we've been brought together, the same hopes.
Eyes barely looking up. Barely looking up. Even our allies are looking at this going, oh my God. I mean, this dude's horrible. You don't think Japan is looking at this guy like, I can't even believe we're relying on this dude for backup? You got to be kidding me.
The same values, the same commitment to democracy and freedom and to dignity for all, and committed to building a future worthy of the highest hopes and that of our predecessors and our people have dreamed of. Ladies and gentlemen, so please join me in raising your glass.
Oh,
I don't have a glass.
What did he just say? You hear that? Creepy went ahead, read the toast, sitting back here giving a toast, but he's reading it. I mean, that is horrible. So he read the toast. Then when it was time, all right, let's go ahead and give a toast. Wait a minute. I don't have a glass in my hand. Are you kidding me? I would have made him drink air. I'd have been like, you know what, just go ahead, turn it up anyway, Joe. Okay. That's what I'd have did. Probably would have had the mouth wide open. Boy, that's good. So now, that's what he did right in front of the Japanese leadership. And I'm sure that guy wants to judo chop him right in the neck. Yeah, like, whoa, if you are in my country, we chop you in the neck. Unbelievable.
There you go.
There you go.
For the Prime Minister. Third, the next question. Who do I call on next? Hang on a second. I got my list here.
Where's my list?
Hang on. I
apologize. We're doomed. We're doomed. Everybody flee for your lives. Yeah, that's right. We're in trouble, man. Right about now, if trouble was money, I swear we'd be a millionaire. That man's out there supposed to be doing now. How many times have they told Joe not to go out there and make it obvious that you are reading off a script? All of these religions.
Who do I call on next? Hang on a second. I got my list here.
Unbelievable. So his brain is not even capable of being discreet and protecting the fact that his brain is in bad shape. Not even capable of doing that. I'm sure they probably were like, Joe, how many times we got to tell you, man, don't go out there and say, who am I supposed to call on here? I got my list there. They told me who to call on. I mean, he does it every single time. And yet, Iran's supposed to listen to him say, don't.
Hang on. I apologize. Aurelia of AFP. Elect me. I'm in the 20th century, 21st century.
Oh, God. Flee for your lives. We're doomed. I'm telling y'all, we're going to all need asylum if this guy gets back in office. So that man just said, like me, I'm in the 20th century. Sure are, Joe. You right now in your head is in the 20th century. Right now, you're Baby Joe. You done went back to full-blown Baby Joe. So this guy right now is oh, there he is again. No, wait. With that corrupt hand, that stiff hand. Look.
On radio.
Thanks, guys.
Immediately.
Yes.
Will you debate him?
If I were him, I'd want to debate me too.
If I was him, I'd want to debate me too. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Are you saying that you're that horrible? Are you basically ripping yourself? Like, if I was him, I want to debate me too. It's like you said, the only one that can beat us is no. He said only one that somebody could win is Donald Trump. Or it's something stupid like that. Or when he owned himself during Christmas, talking about, I agree, let's go, Brandon. So now that's where he's at mentally. So he's talking about, yeah, I agree. If I was him, I want to debate me too. You should have said wouldn't want to debate me. But hey, nevertheless, that's Joe's brain right about now. So they're dragging him out to the mic and telling him to go ahead and lay it down when it comes down to Iran. Now, if I'm Iran, I probably would want to do as much garbage as I could do while he's in office. And that's the sad reality of where we're at globally. Any country right now that's watching this guy, meander about, walking around with his ice cream and his petrified hand and all of that. Any country right now who has ill intent for America probably should be cramming it all in right now just in case Trump gets in. And any country right now that even is an ally but has been pimping us for all of the stupid money we send probably should be cramming it in right about now. That's probably why the little dude over in over in Ukraine is like, more money, hurry up. I need more money over in Ukraine before Donald Trump gets in and dries up the well. Send more money, hurry up. Anything that these countries are trying to get past, anything they're trying to get from us, anything they're trying to get over on us with, they're probably all trying to do it right now. Because look at this guy walking around. Uh-oh, look at that. There he is. There's Jill's husband. There's Jill's husband. What is this? Oh, God. Y'all see that? Right now, if I went abroad, I'd have to go ahead and fake an accent. You see me down in Australia. Hey, hello, mate. Are you from the US, absolutely not. I'm from Australia, mate. I would try to blend in with the natives. Watch a couple episodes of Crocodile Dundee. The Crocodile Hunter and all of that mess. Fake the accent. Anywhere I go. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't. Go to England. Hello. Are you from the US? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do you see what's going on over there? I am totally befuddled at what is happening in that's not the America that we all know and love. Because it isn't. We got an idiot walking around that's been installed. So anyway, that idiot and his whole party has led our country not only to a level where we are looking stupid on the global stage, but we have also created a whole bunch of radicals in our country that are acting a fool, and they don't like what's going on with this administration either. And see, it's cute and funny when you're using these radicals against your political opponent, against the so-called Trump supporters and the white nationalists and all of that stuff. But when they start turning on you and threatening not to vote for you and all of that stuff, then you see the Democrats doing what they do. First of all, they don't want these people going ahead and protesting them. They want them to shut up and go away. Yeah, go back in your closet and wait for the next election when Trump is about to go ahead and win, and we can send y'all out there to terrorize a whole bunch. But don't do it to us. But what really burns me up about these radicals is they're getting so emboldened because of what the last 8 years have done to these folks. They're blatantly threatening violence. Blatantly threatening violence. And yet, you hear them all saying Trump's going to lead to violence. His rhetoric is going to lead to violence. Anything he says is going to lead to violence. Trump is walking around dropping dog whistles about violence. Trump is talking about a bloodbath. Yet we have this to prove that we're not the radicals. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. Watch this.
We've been asked in the past, why are our protests on the International Day of Quds, why are they so anti-America? Why don't we just focus more on Israel and not talk so much about America?
Wait a minute. This man right here definitely has to be in Iran. He has to be in Palestine, right? He's not over here on American soil doing this, right? Soil doing this. Is he? Because if he is, what's going on here?
Gaza has shown the entire world why these protests are so anti-America. And this is why Imam Khomeini, who declared the International Day of Quds, this is why he would say to pour all of your chants and all of your shouts upon the head of America.
Death to America. What's these? Now, let me go over to Iran, go over to Palestine. Death to Palestine. Death to Iran. What do you think would happen? I mean, do you understand the balls on this man and these people right here? To be in our country talking about some death to America. Where are the feds? Did you see any of the folks from the FBI busting down these folks' doors? Questioning them, putting them on the watch list? I didn't see anybody up there on J6 talking about death to America. Didn't see that. But yet they're deemed as terrorists, domestic terrorists. Unreal that this person and his crew has the boldness to do this. Now, I'm sure all the Democrats are going to come out and condemn this. I'm sure they're going to come out and be like, you know what? I don't care what religion I am. That is not right. That's not right. I'm sure that's what they're going to do.
Hi there, my name is Riddhi Patel. I'm here to speak in support of the City Council.
Oh, well, look at this nice, delightful girl right here. She's there to speak in support of what's going on, that she wants a ceasefire. So let's go ahead and hear her use her words correctly and respectfully, okay?
Introducing a ceasefire resolution, specifically the one United Liberation Front has drafted. I don't have faith that you'll do this. You guys are all horrible human beings, and Jesus probably would have killed you himself. And the thing is, though, it's very clear to me as someone who's been an organizer for the past couple of years that none of you care because you guys don't care about anything happening in Palestine or any other country where oppression occurs because you don't care about the oppression occurring here. And
now, she's good right now. She's still covered under free speech, right? Hey, she said, I mean, she's in a liberal city, I think, right? Anyway, she's probably got some of the stuff right about these raggedy liberal leaders right there. But however, see, this is what happened. She got a little overconfident, y'all.
And I understand that you guys are all horrible people. But the thing is, 2,300 people being evicted in the last year, those are votes. And you guys, those are votes to win here in Bakersfield. Okay. And while you guys parade Gandhi around as a Hindu holiday called Chaitra Navratri, it starts off this week, I remind you that these holidays that we practice, that other people in the global south practice, believe in violent revolution against their oppressors. Okay. And I hope one day somebody brings the guillotine and kills all of you motherfuckers.
Oh, wow. Now, I mean, look, hey, granted that I didn't like what she said. That's not something that I hear conservatives going to any of these town hall meetings saying. I'm just saying. I'm sure if we said that, if anybody on the right was to say anything like that, see, this is what you're breeding over here when it comes down to the right. This is inciting violence. And did you just wish death on all these people? Now, wishing death on these people is not... Hey, it's covered under freedom of speech. That's all I'm saying. However, the more emboldened you become, the more untouchable you feel when it comes down to your radicalism. Yeah, you're protesting. Yeah, the more confident you get into where you overcommit and say something like this.
The increased criminalization for no need other than you don't like when people come and hold you guys accountable for introducing ceasefire resolutions, because the only escalation in violence has been by you all. And so there's no need to continue. In the last 5 years I've attended city council meetings, there's never been metal detectors, there's never been more cops. The only reason you're doing it is because people actually don't care if you guys don't like them, and they're actually resisting, so you want to criminalize them. So regardless of whether you elect people into office, they'll backstab you, they'll let you die. And for that reason, you guys want to criminalize us with metal detectors. We'll see you at your house. We'll you.
Okay, wait a minute. Did she just say what I thought she said? I bleeped out that she said, we will do what to you? We'll do what? Unbelievable.
Next speaker, please.
Let's see what happened to her.
Lance, followed by Kev, followed by Valeria.
Oh, she thinks she's collecting notes.
Ms. Patel.
Uh-oh.
Ms. Patel.
We need to talk to you?
That was a threat, what you said at the end. And so the officers are going to escort you out and take care of it.
Members of she went a little too far, y'all. Got out above those skis, got into a rhythm. Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm on a roll right about now. Wait until I stick this landing. And was confident after dropping that out there. Turned around, went right up there, started passing out her little pamphlets to her friends. And it was like, oh, by the way, we need to talk to you for a minute. We step into our office. Wow. Now, anybody seen any conservatives doing that? Have we been out there saying that we come into folks' houses and stuff and we gonna do none of that? But yet we be hearing all the time that the greatest threat to the homeland is white nationalism and extremism from the right. Extremism from the right. Show me the last video clip of somebody on the right threatening to do that, or even wishing death on people, or out there in the middle of the street at a Trump rally talking about death to America. As bad as I despise the Democrat Party, you don't see us out there saying death to the Democrats, death to the Democrats. We don't do that, but yet they label us as the extremists and the radicals. Well, here's a guy right here. He's bringing some common sense to this whole thing, because that little girl right there who just got herself locked up, she thinks a genocide is taking place over there, and that's why she has the right to come out and say things like that, okay? But he's going to bring some logic to it to maybe balance things out.
Hamas are there? 40,000, something like that.
So 40,000 people, 40,000 Hamas members is over there in Palestine?
I think the number is known, but it's tens of thousands. So Hamas says 32,000 people have been killed, civilians and soldiers. Israel says 13,000 soldiers have been killed by Israel. So let's not doubt either number. They could both be inflated. But if both of those numbers are accurate, which they may or may not be, that would be 13,000 soldiers killed, 19,000 civilians killed, which for urban combat in the Middle East is a very normal ratio.
Yeah, unless propaganda gets mixed in with it, because them dudes be fighting constantly with other Arab nations. They are always scrapping. And nobody even talks about how many folks are victims of those skirmishes. But when it comes down to something like this that can be politicized or whatever, then all of a sudden, everybody's counting every person that gets killed. But and it's unfortunate. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it's cool, but you got to figure, man. This right here could have been avoided. It could have been avoided multiple times. A large part of that is on how we dealt with Iran once Creepy got in. The other part is the fact that Hamas decided to attack Israel like they did, and I'm hoping right about now, when it comes down to Iran and Israel, that Israel is able to say, let's gauge on how much damage was done with this so-called attack from Iran. And if there's not a lot of damage, we won't have to go ahead and hit them back and allow them an excuse to say, look what Israel's doing. And yes, if that happens, it could escalate. Hopefully this is something Israel could say, all right, right about now, we're going to let this slide for a little bit. Nobody was hurt. So we'll see what happens. But this man makes a great point to the little Pop-Tart who just was out there talking about these people are violence and they're supporting genocide.
It's very distinct from genocide, because genocide is when you're trying to maximize civilian casualties. I think Israel, however imperfectly, is doing the opposite. They're trying to minimize civilian casualties.
And that's what kind of burns me up, because I do hear people who defend, Hamas. Well, they say we're defending Palestine. But unfortunately, it's Hamas is mixed in. They're mixed in. But people will tell me, well, Kev, it seems like they're committing genocide. I'm saying, really? You think that? I want you to just imagine if the tables were turned. If Hamas had the military power to wipe Israel off the map, Do you think they would choose to try to go ahead and go in and try to dissect and find out, who the Israeli soldiers are and which one, and try to spare the people and moving folks aside and saying, all right, wait, is that one right there, putting their own soldiers at risk, trying to figure out a way to just deal with the folks who attack them? Or do you think Hamas would use their military might to just blow Israel off the map? That would be a genocide. The fact that Israel has the ability to just wipe them completely off the map, and yet I hear people saying this is a genocide. And I'm going, what kind of genocide is this? A slow motion genocide? I mean, why risk your own soldiers? Why do that? Just go ahead and say, well, you know what, man? How about we just wipe them all out and we won't have to deal with this problem ever again? But yet they're going in and trying to do this, and Hamas is making it difficult for them because of their strategy when it comes down to fighting a war, when they're blending in with the folks. So if Israel was really heartless and wanted to commit genocide, they wouldn't even try to figure out who's who. They would just wipe them all out. So when I hear people like this get out there and say stuff like her, they end up in places like this.
You guys want to criminalize us with metal detectors? We'll see you at your house. We'll murder you.
Oh!
Ms. Patel, that was a threat, what you said at the end. And so the officers are going to escort you out and take care of that.
On Wednesday, Rajit Patel was escorted from the city council meeting after...
Look, there she is. There she is. Now she's boo-hooing. I don't want to see no crocodiles right now. You know what I would give her, y'all? Man, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Go over to her. Hey, bud, how you doing here? Cry, baby, cry. Cry, baby, cry. You can't be out there threatening to murder folks, and now you boo-hooing. I bet you she's like, what was I thinking? Why did I say that?
After threatening council members who were weighing a Gaza ceasefire resolution. They also expressed outrage over the presence of new metal detectors at City Hall.
Yeah.
They were booked on 8 counts of intent to terrorize and threatening state officials with a $2 million bond. Today, Patel pleaded not guilty. Pro-Palestinian activism groups United Liberation Front condemned the behavior. Patel is now due back in court April 27th.
Mess around and find out. Messed around and found out. Now, I'm almost shocked that they even did something to her. Because usually, the radicals on the left get away with everything. Showing up at, Supreme Court justices' cribs and attacking, public buildings and state buildings and government buildings and trying to burn people down while they're in it inside. And, taking over whole several blocks and, declaring it's a whole new country or state or whatever. I mean, they usually get away with pretty much anything. So I'm surprised that, she even got locked up. But now we're catching up with Sharita Tlaib, the one that was censored. And I'm sure she's going to come out and condemn all of this stuff. Come on. Let me bring my cameraman. Come on. Here she is. Let's catch her. Here. Excuse me, Miss Sharita, the one with the Kermit the Frog cry. That we got some questions for you.
To leave Fox News. I don't talk to Fox News. At a rally in your district, people were chanting "Death to America." Do you condemn? I do not talk to Fox News. But do you condemn chants of "Death to America"? I don't talk to people that use racist tropes.
Oh God! Now here we go. Y'all see that? You know how the Dems do it when they have to answer tough questions instead of answering those racist tropes. Well, is this question a racist trope? All she's doing is asking you, do you condemn? Now, you are a sitting congresswoman, and you telling me you can't stop for 1 second to tell the news whether you condemn them yelling "Death to America," or is it you don't want to condemn them? And you're using
Why can't you
Fox
just
as an
say whether or
excuse?
not you condemn people chanting "Death to America"? Why are you afraid to talk to Fox?
Fox News is not listen, using racist tropes towards my community is what Fox News is about. I don't talk
Like what? I want to know what the racist trope was or is. See, this is one of those things, right? She'll go over to MSNBC or CNN talking about, I don't talk to Fox News. I'm going to go over to CNN where they just let me vomit up whatever. Go over to MSNBC. How does it feel to be an Arab woman in America with all the racism and hate that you have to endure? Please let us know. Vomit it up on the mic. It's okay. There you go. So now she got one question that all Americans should want to know. Do you condemn these folks over here saying death to America?
Fox News.
Is death to America racist?
Fox News.
Is chanting death to America racist?
Talking about your guys' racist tropes. You know, you guys know exactly what you do.
No, you know exactly what you're doing. Yeah. Your butt's running from responding. How in the world did people like this who hate our country get in government? It's unreal. So now she got a double dose going. Not only does she hate our country, but now she's using what the Democrats taught her to use so she could escape having to be accountable and condemn what she's been hearing going on by her peeps out there yelling death to America. So what does she do? Block it with racism. Yeah, she ain't the only one.
I know you're Islamophobic, but you guys gotta go deal with it on your own self. You're not gonna use me.
Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody in that cabinet, in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline.
Yeah, she's the original race baiter right there. You can't do nothing to Mad Max because Mad Max is bubble wrapped with all kind of racism wrapped around her. You can't say nothing to me because if you do, then I'm going to simply declare you're a racist. A white nationalist down there beating those Haitians and stuff on those things. It was worse than slavery. So now look at Mad Max. All of this liberal violence she's encouraging.
Station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere. As a member of Congress.
Oh, God. Now that's the recent close-up of Mad to the Max. What happened to... Man, that woman gets uglier and uglier day by day. I don't know if she can get any uglier than that, y'all. I mean, honestly, I might be able to hold up Mad Max by that raggedy wig of hers and turn folks into stone. I'm serious about that face. Boy, I tell you, a face that not even a mother could love. She's a man. And they got the close-up. Got the close-up of her, the Christmas bulb look. So let's hear her latest bubble wrapping of herself when it comes down to all of the stuff she be saying. But when people disagree with her, what does she say?
With people, you know, who evidently had a racist attitude. And recently one even confronted me in a restaurant. And they don't...
A racist attitude. These people are disgusting. So you out there encouraging all of these people to go up and get in folks' faces. You know, tell them you ain't welcome here anymore. All of that. But yet, somebody comes up to you and disagrees with you and says, I don't like something you said. Automatically, you just assume got a racist what? Unreal.
People, you know, who evidently had a racist attitude.
Evidently had a racist attitude because they asked Mad Max some questions and disagreed. Yeah, simply because you black. Oh, look, there she is. She's black, so let's go. Come on. We wouldn't ask a white person these questions. Yeah, but you the one with the big mouth, Mad Max.
And recently one even confronted me in a restaurant.
Oh, you mean like you told everybody to confront everybody else in restaurants? If you see anybody, and I mean anybody, in a movie, a restaurant, at a gas station, you get up in their face and you say you're not welcome here anymore.
And they don't say racist things, but what they...
Oh, but they don't say racist things, but I'm going to go ahead and say they really... I know what they really was doing it for because I'm black. They ain't got to say racist things.
They they don't like something I said.
Yeah, and that means they're racist. Do you see what the Democrats are producing? They got these dumb politicians trained on how to defend themselves with nothing but using everybody is attacking me because I'm a Muslim, I'm a woman, I'm black. So she got the nerve to say they didn't say racist things, but they're attacking me based on racism.
They don't like a position that I took. But you know that, you know, if you were not black, you would not be approached that way.
Right, they probably would not. Right, they would think twice about doing it. They think that they can get away with doing it with you and they.
So not only is she ugly, but she's dumb and she's evil. No. So now y'all see the washed up Louise Jefferson. Oh, George. The hot mix between Wheezy and James Brown. Y'all see her? And a Sharpay. Unbelievable. She got the nerve to get up there and do that. And now, guys, since we're on the topic of things that Democrats do with no shame, guys, we really got to be watchful as we come into the 2024 election, because these Democrats are fighting very hard to cheat. That's what I'm just going to call it for what it is. And on so many levels. But one of the very obvious ways, and it's fascinating to me that they still are trying to pretend that this is not what they're doing. But anybody with common sense knows when they're out here trying to suggest that Republicans are trying to suppress people's votes, therefore, they don't need voter IDs. We all know what it's about. Watch this attempt to gaslight folks and protect the Democrats in their obvious effort to eliminate voter IDs so that these illegal immigrants can vote. And I'm not even going to show y'all the video that I got. I'll maybe show that maybe tomorrow, of illegal immigrants being interviewed and asking these illegal immigrants, who would you vote for? Joe Biden. He's helping us come here through the country. So you don't think that these illegal immigrants that are here would go out if they didn't have to show no ID and vote for Biden? So let's check this out. Look at this mess. Unbelievable.
So what we're going to do is introduce legislation to require that every single person who registers to vote in a federal election must prove that they're an American citizen first.
I don't see what the problem
to prove it. That will be a new part of the federal law and a very important one. Our bill will establish new safeguards. It'll put us on par, by the way, with virtually every other democracy around the world that also prohibits non-citizen voting. And this is a critical thing for us to do at a very critical time. Our bill also will require states to remove
So we're going to need proof from you, Mr. White Nationalist man. Yeah, you're telling me every other country is smarter than America? Or they're not as corrupt as America when it comes down to trying to tamper with our elections and get folks that aren't American citizens to vote? I mean, why be an American citizen? What benefits do you get? That's what I'm saying. So if everybody can vote, whether you're an American citizen or not, what good is it? So you would think every election official, every politician should say, absolutely.
Non-citizens from their existing voter rolls. That's a big problem too.
Check.
And it will provide access to databases from the Department of Homeland Security and the Social Security Administration to help the states administer this. As the entity that is responsible for regulating federal elections, Congress has this responsibility. We cannot wait for widespread fraud to occur.
Why do that?
Especially when the threat of fraud is growing with every single illegal immigrant that crosses that border.
Oh, that's exactly what is happening. Yeah, the threat of fraud grows with every illegal immigrant coming across the border. You don't think that these folks built this into the calculation for this year? If we can't stop Trump, y'all, the last ditch effort is to maybe get him voted out based on all of our illegal immigrants we're going to try to cram into the country within 4 years. Hopefully they can help us out if we continue to push this lie that black people are disenfranchised and can't vote. Wait until you hear this garbage, because we just heard from two people that's using racism. Y'all got to realize, racism for all occasions when it comes down to the Democrats. That's their go-to. Their solution for every problem, racism.
This is something most Americans are deeply concerned about.
Yeah.
The latest poll says 78% of the Americans who are polled say that preventing illegal immigrants from voting in our elections is a top priority.
And do you think Democrats care about that? No. Yeah. They're like, look, man, it don't matter about the majority, the democracy, none of that. It's all about who has the power to manipulate. Yeah, so let's bring in a whole bunch of folks, because we won't have to rely on that 78% if we replace them with all of our precious illegal immigrants.
In every place I've gone around the country, whether it's out west, Midwest, Long Island, deep south, it doesn't matter. Everybody is concerned about this. We have a job to do. Here's what you need to look for. Okay. And I'll turn it back to the president.
What?
When we put this bill on the floor, you're going to see a record vote by Republicans and Democrats. You'll see that the Republicans stand for election integrity. And then we'll be able to ask this very important question of the Democrats. They're going to have to go on record. Do you believe that Americans and Americans alone should be the ones who vote in American elections?
And watch them all vote no. All of them. Based on some bootleg narrative of racism, voter suppression. And that should show everybody, these folks' true motive. Why in the world would you be okay with illegal immigrants voting in our election? Unless you were up to some shenanigans. Unless you were up to cheating. Why wouldn't you want voter ID? Unless you were trying to cheat. That right there makes me feel you're up to something. All this time in our country, we required voter ID, but all of a sudden, when y'all start losing elections, all of a sudden, that didn't make any sense no more. You start worrying about black folks and not having IDs, using us as an excuse to push this garbage.
We're about to find out their answer.
Yeah.
And I think that will be a very interesting one.
There are real threats we face.
Here it is.
There are more extreme voices out there who simply don't want to see people of color in the future of our country.
God, I want to choke this dude. Boy. I mean, not physically. I'm not threatening the president. I'm just saying sometimes I have visions of Bart Simpson and Homer Simpson, and he's just playing the role of Bart, and I'm playing the role of Homer in that one scene. So you hear this dirtbag? Look, always using this stinking, divisive crap. Talking about some
Americans alone should be the ones who vote in American elections? We're about to find out their answer. And I think that will be a very interesting one.
There are real threats we face.
He don't even know. Just reading off of a script. That's why I have no mercy on this guy and his dementia right about now. He uses his brains for evil when he does have a moment of clarity. So now here he is coming out with this garbage narrative, trying to blame black folks as an excuse to have a bootleg, raggedy election process.
There are more extreme voices out there who simply don't want to see people of color in the
like me, a black man who don't want to see folks coming up there talking about some, I ain't got no ID, man. Let me get a. But yet you're blaming it on black folks. And you can't find no black person out there that's talking about some, man, I couldn't get no ID. They wouldn't let me vote. I would. And yet he throws that garbage out there like this. So divisive, so just deceptive. And we all know what it's being used for. It's being used to go ahead and block anybody from criticizing them when it comes down to their obvious attempt to steal an election by allowing illegals to vote. You can't put this together. You can't see, wait a minute. What other reason would these Democrats bring in millions of illegal immigrants? Is it because they got a big heart? If you think that, you're so dumb. I can't even say naive. You're just dumb. So you're telling me these most selfish, corrupt politicians are really wanting to bring these folks in here because they just want to see them get asylum and, all of that stuff and a better life and good jobs and all. Yeah, they want them to get jobs for their buddies for cheap labor. But the real ultimate goal is to convert these folks into votes. And so it's a combination between getting rid of voter ID and bringing in folks to get vote and benefit off of getting rid of the voter ID. And the catalyst that they're using is black folks and other disenfranchised Americans in every other category can get an ID and use it. But when it comes down to voting, they're being disenfranchised just because we're holding people responsible to prove that they're an American citizen. These folks are dirtbags.
Future of our country. They want to turn back the clock.
Look at this.
Voter suppression, election suppression.
This is.
And then they send out these clowns. Literally. So here's their excuse to why the Republicans are, trying to enforce voter IDs and make sure people are held accountable. This is their excuse of why they're doing this.
I feel like I say this all the time. It's insane because.
You see that? Reaching. Don't try to belittle our intelligence. It's insane because now I got to make up something because we all know it's sane. We all know this is rational and logical. But you got to try to make it seem like these folks, man, I don't know, they tripping. This is insane because of what? I want to hear the excuse. Let's hear this mess.
It is not legal to vote if you are not a citizen of the United States of America.
Right.
Congress has already, they already passed legislation for that way back.
See, and once again, you hear this garbage? They try to go ahead and gaslight us with this. It's already on the books. It's already illegal to vote in that. But see, what you're not answering is, are these people going up to them and saying, all right, hello, I'm a legal immigrant. I want to vote. Or are they just going up to them and saying, I'm here to vote. Okay, what's your name? Jose Rodriguez. Okay, here you go. Nobody's going to go up to them and tell them I'm an illegal immigrant. Of course, if you do that, then they would say, well, yeah, you can't vote. But if you don't say nothing and you just say, I'm here to vote, and you just give them a name and they say, well, here's your ballot, then you bypass that. You big conehead, nasty thing.
Like before, I could even, go to school, okay?
Right.
Back in the 90s, I think they did this, right, Michael? I don't know. Michael's older than my father. We joke about this all the time. So now, according to, after, Donald Trump and his insurrection buddy, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson,
Propaganda. Donald Trump and the insurrection buddy at the...
had their meeting. Now, apparently, House Republicans are going to pursue legislation requiring proof of citizenship to vote. My question is,
look at her reaching.
So we're going to show proof to Miss Susie at the polling place.
Here it comes.
How is Miss Susie going to verify? Are we asking people to bring their papers?
Oh boy, good old racism for all occasions. Is good old Susie gonna bring their papers? First of all, picks a white lady's name. Good old Susie. Is Susie gonna let her bring her papers? Yes, I'll be free. Here's my papers. What are you implying, Baldy? You need to Benny Hill on top of the head. So now all of a sudden you want to make it seem like it's crazy and dumb and requiring folks to bring their papers. And I'm saying, okay, so then I want you to tell me how in the world are black folks, old folks, and any other person of color is able to negotiate in this country without an ID. You're not chasing down all the disenfranchised folks that for whatever reason, they're not allowed to work at a certain place because, hey, they ain't got no ID. This is discrimination. I went and tried to apply for a job. They asked me, who am I? And I said, don't worry about it. Let me come up in there and make some cheese. I went to open up a bank account and they was like, all right, proof of bank. And I was like, man, what you asking me for them stupid stuff? Man, this is racism, baby. Let me just put my cheese right there in the bank and you don't need to know who I am. You see how stupid this stuff is? All you got to do is call them out. And that's why they won't sling me out on this raggedy show right here. Because I would ask practical questions and embarrass all of them. And then call them out for reverse racism. I'd be like, you know what you guys are? Y'all are using the racism of low expectations and making all black folks and other minorities look hopeless, helpless, incompetent, non-resourceful.
This is America. So I just want to...
Exactly. This is America. And guess who should be voting in our elections? Americans. You big cone head.
Want to know, is this what all of the House Republicans want to lay their chips on? Even the 18 that sit in districts that Joe Biden won in 2020?
So now you're trying to convince your raggedy audience that this makes sense to not have IDs to vote. That's what they're doing. They're trying to infer there's some racism behind requiring people to have an ID.
Strikes me as this is the long tail of a long time Republican effort to make it harder to vote because they know that some of those requirements, having to show a license, they disproportionately impact communities of color. And
How? So they've been doing this for a long time. No, what's been happening for a long time is black folks have been getting IDs for everything they need to do in life. But for some reason, our Republicans, what they've been trying to do is make sure we're not running around going, man, I don't trust the elections because Democrats are not requiring folks to provide an ID. Simple stuff. But yet these folks are trying to make it seem like it's all about racism and suppressing votes and stuff. Who? So I guess then the white folks up in the Appalachian Mountains and stuff, they're able to get IDs, but those poor black inner city folks, they just can't.
What's interesting is they also disproportionately impact older Americans.
Oh, yeah.
How? So my question is, how did the elderly or older American get down to the voting station to vote? Did they drive? Unless you are in an elderly home where you're not able to walk, can't drive, and in that case, you got bigger problems than an ID, okay? And in often cases, you still got an ID, and your family member can drive you right down there and you can vote. See, they won't provide any rational, logical explanation or information or any type of proof about these statements. Just making up stuff to have disproportionately affect. How? Because you said it.
Right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
and that's the part that you would think that Republicans would be more attuned to
And then this
strategically.
dude.
But I think the bigger, broader, scarier point, Alicia, is this is all to breed distrust in our elections process.
This is breeding. Now, gotta understand, by requiring IDs to show you're an American citizen is designed to breed distrust in the voting system. But by requiring no voter IDs is really instilling trust in the voting system. Now, try that logic on for size. Y'all see that one right there? This dude got the nerve to present this argument as we close. And I'm thinking, who are the dummies watching this show that fell for that Jedi mind trick? This is designed to breed distrust in the American system.
I mean, make no mistake, I still engage with the Republican Party base every single day. I know 70 to 80% of them don't believe Biden really won, but that hardcore base, the 40 to 50%, they no longer trust our elections.
Wonder why? Could it be that we see you nasty, stinking globalists / Marxists dragging in illegal immigrants, giving them snacks, giving them treats, talking about they're already citizens, asking for them to get a citizenship almost like immediately? And could it be that? And then on top of that, trying to get rid of requiring voter identification. And then mail-in ballot. Y'all are doing everything to destroy the trust in our voting process while looking us in the face and saying that these folks shouldn't be distrusting our process just because we're advocating for no voter identification and for illegal immigrants to be able to vote and all of this stuff. They shouldn't distrust that. Unreal.
Trump is doing this on purpose.
On purpose?
Distrust then will lead to violence.
And then you put the cherry on top. Wow, they package a whole bunch of Marxist conflict theory in that one. So let me understand it correctly. First things first. By telling everybody they need voter IDs to vote is really creating distrust in the voting system. Okay? And that right there could lead to violence. How? Don't know. Because of reasons. Because this white liberal man on this network said it.
Happened in 2020.
What is so complicated? Well, the simple fact is there's nothing complicated about this. In fact, every Western developed nation uses voter ID. Here's an interesting chart that I found on r/map porn. Voter ID laws around the world. What do you notice? Well, the blue countries require voter ID. All the red is where voter ID isn't necessary.
And that's where all the corruption is. Look at that. So now I guess America, just our Democrats, for some reason, are the only folks that aren't racist and discriminating against folks based on their color and their age and all of that stuff. Just our Democrats. The rest of the world are all, I guess, voter suppressors. They're all racist. They all require IDs. Look at all these smart countries, all that blue. And yet you get over here to us and we are doused with red. And you wonder why. And who's in those red areas?
Well, what do you notice? Most of the places where voter ID isn't required are located in the United States, and mostly or almost totally in Democrat strongholds.
Wow. Now, there you have it. But yet they're not trying to go ahead and replace the vote. Nah, they're not trying to go ahead and, swap American folks out for illegal immigrants. Just so happen all of that red is in liberal areas and they're all pushing for no voter IDs. Yeah, to instill trust though. That's to instill trust in our voting process right there. So you would think if they were on the up and up, they would do everything to make sure the American people trusted the voting process instead of using lies like black folks can't get IDs. Elderly people can't make it down there. Republicans are simply doing this because they're trying to suppress the vote and all of this stuff. Nothing but lies and obvious attempts to steal an election based on election corruption. And I hope they get exposed. Boy, we got to get rid of the Democrat Party, man. We gotta make them look so disgusting to people, to whereas anybody in the middle, I want to shame them out of business. I want them to be like, dude, nobody likes us anymore. We're just hanging on as the party of craziness, stupidity, horrible policies, wreaking havoc, pushing racism, going after kids. Nobody wants to touch us no more. Yeah, take your little crazy radicals and go somewhere and sit down. Go somewhere and sit down. That's what needs to happen to that party. They are disgusting. So God bless y'all. God bless America. That's why we got to be frosty coming into this election. Because, man, we already see it. They're doing stuff on every level to steal this one. And that's just one part of the puzzle right there. There's other ones too. Alvin Bragg, I'll be talking about that tomorrow. All that stupid stuff. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Hit that like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, you can do that by checking out Kevin's Corner Store. And you can also do that by dropping something in my Cash App or PayPal. I definitely will not say, I don't want this. I appreciate anything that people do to support it. Follow me on all, and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn the notifications on to all. And subscribe to my alternative channel and Rumble. And follow me on X, Truth Social. All those links are below. We'll see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place, just in case you don't get a notification. All right, God bless. Thank you for all the comments. Oh, let's bounce. Oh, don't forget, text MAGA to that number. All right, now let's get out of this joint. Funky Democrat.
This is awesome. Yeah, awesome.
I know you see the way we tear up the place, yeah. See y'all next time in Chaos Corner. Take care.